guys, I'm here today to walk you through and kind of get ready with me of my foundation routine that I've been doing lately for spring. I talked about it in my March favorites video, and I just kind of wanted to walk you through it so that when I, from here on out for a little bit, do tutorials, etc., you don't have to watch me redundantly do my foundation all the time. It is a little bit of a mix-up from the routines I was doing over the winter. It's just kind of more of like a fresh, springy kind of feel to it, so I just wanted to clue you guys in on what I've been doing. And it's totally okay if we're not the same skin tone or have the same kind of texture in our face. We can still, you know, the nice thing about YouTube is we can pick up on other people's techniques and still find positive things out of the video, even though we may not be both caramel chocolate or whatever the case may be. I watch girls of all different skin tones and I still say, oh, that's cool how she did that, or oh, that makes sense, you know. So yeah, I just hope you guys enjoy the video, and we'll get started. So first I'm going to prime my skin, obviously, and I've been going back to the Porefessional from Benefit a lot. I really enjoy this foundation because it helps to smooth out my pores and really kind of help to control oil in the T-zone. I will say lately, though, my skin has not been terribly oily. I've been finding some dry patches, or that it's kind of been more on just the normal side, which is kind of crazy for me because once the summer hits, I am just like grease ball, which I kind of love because it's going to preserve my skin forever, right? But preserve. We like this. Can you see that? That is lovely. So yeah, just take your time kind of like moving it and pressing it into the skin. Ensure that it's sitting in there properly. Hair straight again, did you notice? So next in, I'm going to kind of do a little cocktail, and I've been using this foundation lately and I absolutely adore it. It is the Mercier Candleglow Soft Luminous Foundation. If you are always combination or oily, I wouldn't normally suggest this foundation because my skin's been pretty normal and I've kind of wanted more of like a soft, dewy glow to my skin. If I mattify my skin first, set it with powder properly, this foundation really does the trick to give my skin that gorgeous glow. So if you're okay with kind of working with it and doing a couple other things aside from just adding foundation, it seems to work really well. So just don't be scared of it, but if you are extremely oily at all times, I don't think it'll be the foundation for you. I am in the color Praline, which is the same color as the Flawless Fluid from Mercier, so if you do have a color in that foundation, her full coverage, you're probably okay with just kind of switching and transitioning over to the same color in this bottle formula, you know? So I've been taking 2 pumps of that in the palm of my hand, and then a pump of the Josie, Maran, Argan, Enlightening Illuminizer. This one is a little travel size guy. I'm actually kind of happy that I got the travel size guy so that I can try it out before I go and invest in a big bottle. My skin so far has been really liking it, so I think it'll be okay. Yeah, but there's a couple other highlighters I always want to try too, like liquid highlighters, so we'll see. We'll see. Do you like this? I went bowling and my thumb lost. So once it's completely mixed on my hand, I kind of just start dabbing it on the skin, starting with the lower half of my face first, just to ensure that it's going to be spread properly, and then right on the nose. And then we'll just take a little bit, start mixing it in on the forehead. A lot of Mercier foundations actually work better if you do dab it with the skin. So to kind of spread it around with the skin, with your finger. So if you kind of dab it around first with your finger, that's totally okay. She is a company, and as an artist, they really stand by that philosophy. And after I really get it pretty much everywhere, no napkin, of course. Oh, look at that. A Dunkin' napkin. Who'd have thunk? I don't really like Dunkin' that much. I mean, I like it, but whatever. So, yeah, I bought this Morphe brush back when I was in LA, and I've really been loving it to help with the foundation. This is the M439, and I just kind of start pressing and dabbing it into the skin as opposed to swiping it, just so when it sits on the skin, it kind of settles in as opposed to like being streaky on the face. And you'll just see as you start to blend this into the skin, the mixture of the foundation and the highlight together creates this gorgeous cocktail, and your skin just really starts to kind of glow. It makes your skin look extra, extra dewy and super healthy. So as this foundation starts to settle into the skin, it'll get just a tiny bit less shiny. I mean, you really look kind of super dewy and luminous at this point as I'm kind of looking in the mirror and in my viewfinder. But I still think it just makes your skin look super healthy, fresh, youthful, which is great. If you have a little bit extra on your hand, you can always pick it up with your brush and kind of press and buff it where need be. Just kind of analyze and look over your face for a second and see where it might need just an added touch of help. But I love it. Ooh, I love it. Yeah, so far so good, right? Not too bad. So after that, I am going to go in with concealer, and at the moment I am using the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Concealer. I am in Y33. I think on the last couple of my description boxes I put Y305 for some reason. My apologies, I'm Y33. And this kind of technique I've been doing is really strange. Well, the second half of the technique. But the first part, I am just going to color correct a little bit using the Anastasia Cream Contour Kit in medium. I pick up a little bit of that peachy pink color right here just to help with any shadowing or discoloration under the eye. And sometimes I get a little hormonal discoloration or like sallowness around my mouth. So I mix a little bit of that peach and that yellow just to kind of help conceal. And I'm using this really nice tapered, pointed, precision tapered brush from Sigma. This is the P86. It is great for cream concealing, any precision you need to do. It also is really nice to pick up cream for a contour if you're going to pick it up out of a palette as opposed to out of a stick. I think it is amazing. I've had this brush probably for like a year now. I got it at IMATS last year. And I thought it just did the trick. So as you can tell, I'm kind of starting more in like that center part of my face here, inner corners, and then I'm kind of bringing it out. I find that the shadowing really happens more in here as opposed to happening on the outer part of my face. So it's just really important to take the red and it neutralizes with any dull blue color to then make a brown, therefore helping to color correct. And just a little bit of that highlighting color mixed with just a tiny bit of the peach. Right around the mouth area and then kind of up into the nose. I know it looks kind of crazy, but it really does help. Then we're going to go in with a trusty damp beauty blender and start to blend everything out so that it blends in with the skin. The nice thing about the beauty blender too is that it takes the time to kind of soak up excess product, even so like if you felt you put on maybe too much foundation or the liquid highlighter, that the beauty blender, if you want to do like a once over on your entire face, that's totally okay because it will help to absorb excess product. Cool, right? So you can kind of see where it started to blend in, kind of starting to help color correct, and then when we go in with our neutral color on top of it, it'll obviously diffuse everything. So yeah, so Ultra HD, and this is kind of a silly technique that I do. I push out just enough so that it's a nice little, I'll show you, see if I can get up close with it. So it's a nice little dollop, like a little beep, and it's pretty much all I use for under the eye, so that little doopy glop, and doopy glop, whatever. And I just do dot 1, dot 2, dot 3. Okay? Dot 1, dot 2, dot 3. Now this has a ton on it. I don't usually need that much, so this should be enough for both eyes. See that? Yeah? Okay. Okay. So, then we go in with my old Naked Skin applicator from Urban Decay. I just love this little spongy applicator. I don't know why. It's just what I love at the moment to spread around my concealer, so that's what I use. What a weird sound I just made with my noise. Did you hear that? Yeah, so yeah, I just take this from my old one, and I probably should just wash it off and keep it as such, but I start to kind of make my nice triangle to help conceal, and we do it right over top. Wow, that's a lot of concealer. Whatever. But we do it right over top where we were color correcting. Just be careful if you have larger eyes like I do. Sometimes when your larger part of the bottom part of your eye kind of sits and makes a socket, it is going to kind of crease automatically. So just be careful not to sit too much concealer right up in that under eye socket. Kind of inevitable that it's going to crease just a tiny bit, but it, you know, we help and can kind of fix whatever we can with some powder, etc. And then kind of still always that classic kind of V that comes out here, just to help conceal. Create a nice highlight, and then if you want to still add a little up in the forehead area, along the nose, the usual, you can. I don't do much of it when you have such a glowy, luminous thing, but if you do want to do a little bit of it to help balance it out, that's totally alright. And then we're going back in with the Beauty Blender, and we're just going to blend everything out. I always say with the Beauty Blender, the more damp it is, the better. I think that it really helps blend out the product. But when I say damp, I don't mean completely sopping wet. Like when I'm holding on to my Beauty Blender, I really shouldn't be having a ton of water kind of dripping down my hands. That's not what I mean by any means. But just enough that like you can feel that it's got moisture, it's got a good amount of water in there. And you can always go back and add a little more water or squeeze it under the sink a few more times to help the sponge. Okay, so kind of a strange technique, but not that weird, right? I feel like whatever helps you spread it out. I think because of my nails, I'm not a huge fan of doing the dab under the eye. You can do that. That is actually one of the suggested ways to use the Ultra HD foundation. But I think if you have an applicator or a brush that you really like as well, there's nothing wrong with that, obviously. So, we got the foundation done, we got some concealer. Time to set everything. I'm just going in with my trusty Nye Banana Powder. I'm just going to start with actually setting under the eye first, because I think that's where it tends to crease the most and you want to actually have all of that settled in first. I'm not going to bake or cook or any of that today. We're just setting the powder. And start with kind of some pressing motions. And make sure that you go in both directions to ensure that it fills in any fine lines and smooths out. But I would always start pressing and then you can go back and swipe or blend back into your foundation. And I really just take this banana powder and only use it where I get super oily. I don't want to put it all... I don't want to put it all over my face. So really just T-zone and under the eye area is what this powder is meant for, at least for my face. I guess if you want to put it all over your face, you're allowed, right? I don't see why not. But it's most important for me to obviously set with it. And this is, by the way, the Morphe E48, for any of you that are asking. It's just like the tapered highlighting brush from Sigma. Just a little bit of a different texture. Actually, it's just a tiny bit wider, too, I would say. But cool beans, right? This isn't hard. I just wanted to walk you guys through it. Okay. I'm taking just a tiny bit of the Mercier setting powder, and this is what I put on the rest of my face because, again, I can get oily, and a little bit goes a long way. I obviously take some of the sifter and pour it right into the cup. Then I'm taking my Morphe G0 brush, my big, beautiful rabbit's foot, just making sure it's all over the brush, and I'm kind of dabbing all over my face, and then we're going to swipe it away immediately. I will say, as I'm tapping and swiping this into my face, sometimes I find that it does leave just a tiny bit of a white cast on my face. So sometimes I will go in with a colored powder as well. But I'm still pretty pale for the most part. I haven't obviously gotten a ton of sun yet, so I think it's still okay for now for spring. Kind of have a nice, fresh porcelain vibe, so to speak. Dewy porcelain glowing vibe. Whatevskis. In the spring, I have not been contouring too much. I've been finding I'm more enjoying a little bit of a bronze. Totally preference. So I'm going to take my Pro Fusion Bronze from Makeup Forever. I'm in 35Li, whatever. And just this awesome Morphe M527 brush. This is the bigger one of the two. And I just kind of really dig and get some of that. Swirl it and swipe it in there, pick up some good product. And just on the outer portions of my face, just to warm it up so we don't have our face all one dimension. My nose is so itchy. Yeah. But just to really warm it up, give it some good color, a little bit of a glow, always helps with the glow. I know I kind of turned around and mattified the Candlelight foundation, but the main purpose for doing that for my type of skin is help control the oil, because you'll see throughout the day, I'll start glowing, don't get me wrong, and I don't want it to be this oily, dewy, oily glow as opposed to a dewy glow. I don't want that, so look at that. You can even see the difference from side to side. Lovely. Now, if you are any deeper in shade than me, I'm sorry to say, but the bronzer is probably not going to be your friend. The highlighting portion of what I do, so kind of the reverse, is what's really going to help portions of your face stand out. But the bronzer, probably not the best way to add color back into your skin. It's going to be blush and highlight. Don't be afraid to press it like right into the hairline as well. I think sometimes you don't want to, you know, people kind of skip and you can see kind of this white line between where their hairline begins and where their makeup starts, and it's just, ugh. So don't be afraid to kind of like buff it back into the hairline, because you can always kind of wipe any excess powder away with a tissue as well. Cool, so now we have a little bit of color back in our face. Just adding back to that glow. Last couple of steps. So as I was talking about in one of my last tutorials, I love taking the ColourPop Cream Supershock highlights. My brow. Cream Supershock highlights, and, you know, putting it in the areas of the face where I do a highlight and then going in with a powder highlight. It just seems, I don't know, it's just such a lovely match made in heaven. So yeah, I'm taking the Wisp one today, which is more of that J.Lo champagne glow as opposed to my other one, which is more of a golden. And I just take it right on my middle finger, warm it up. It's got that lovely moussey texture, and we just put it on the high points of the face with a nice like swipe. You'll see where it goes. Kind of hard to miss. And just swipe it into the skin. Not terrible rhyme or reason. because then I always go back and press it in with a beauty blender to help make sure that it's set into the skin and doesn't look like a streaky, fingery mess, as opposed to a nice highlight. So yeah, from here you can kind of see it's just kind of placed wherever, and then the real trick is to go in with your beauty blender. Is to go in with your beauty blender and really press it into the skin. The key is to make your foundation routine and all of the cosmetics on your face look as natural as possible. I know that sounds a little crazy, but when you just take the extra time to do a couple of these techniques, your skin will look more like itself, like it's glowing, as opposed to like 9 layers of foundation and makeup on your face. Oh, look how pretty. Gosh, I love the way that glows. I think it is so pretty. Okay, so I'm going in with Anastasia's Glow Kit. This is the That Glow Kit. It's the deeper of the two. I cannot get enough of this kit. I am a little obsessed. But we are going to go in with, I'm going to do probably today, Dripping in Gold. It's this guy down here. It's the most like neutral kind of peachy champagne. This one's got more of like a pink champagne to it, gold, and then obviously bronze. So we're going to go in with Dripping in Gold today, and we're going to put this right on top of where we just did that cream highlighter, the Wisp, and then we're actually going to go back in with the beauty blender and press it into the skin again. I'm picking this up on the Morphe 510 brush. This is a lovely brush for highlighting. You can get a decent amount on there. Sometimes when I'm going out, when I want a little extra glam, I do spray the brush with Fix Plus after I have product on it. But today, I think I really just want to, you know, live in the natural. Again, I'm kind of like smoothing, pressing it into the skin to help give that glow. Don't just do like this and expect it to look perfect. Like, take your time blending. Blending is always going to be one of your most important factors for a perfect, flawless foundation. Cool, easy enough, right? So now we look a little glitterati, a little crazy, a little gold dust. So take your beauty blender and go and press back in. It's okay to use your beauty blender with powder. And there we have, oh my gosh, the most beautiful fresh glow. So if you want to take a little bit more of the highlight and kind of go above the brow as well, just to help add a little bit more of a lift to above the brow and on the forehead, you can do that as well. I always think that is not a bad suggestion. So now my last little step is blush. I do my blush after my highlight to not muddy up the highlight or that champagne color. So sometimes I believe it is okay to go from light to dark in that sense. So I do my blush next, and we really just put it on the apples or the cheeks and kind of blend it into that bronzer. I'm going in with Warm Soul Mineralized blush from MAC. I love this blush. I got it not that long ago. I was using, what's the darker one of the two? Lovejoy. I've been using Lovejoy forever. It's probably like my #1 blush. This gives me more of like a peachy kind of flushed pinched cheek tone, which is actually really in right now in the editorial world on darker skin. So there's just powder everywhere. Anyway, so I'm taking this on my Yakio brush and I'm kind of like pressing and pushing this in to pick up the product, tapping the brush a little, and then kind of smile with the cheeks. Just do a little smile and then you add it in your blush. Alright, so that completes it. So this is pretty much what I've been doing probably for a couple weeks now. Give myself like more of that fresh, luminous, dewy glow. And then obviously whatever you would like to do with the eyes, brows, totally your fancy. And then I obviously top it off with like a fun peachy pink lip or whatever. And yeah, you're good to go. Actually, I'm going to go put a lip gloss on. One sec. Okay, so this is the finished look. Yeah. But yeah, I just love the way the skin glows, something fresh. So just adhere this and modify it to your skin tone and your skin texture needs. I hope that you picked up some good techniques and some fun little tips and tricks on what to do. And if you are the same skin tone or around the same skin tone, then I hope it really just helped walk you through it. But I just thought it would be fun to show you what I've been doing for spring and how you can achieve that really nice, fresh, glam glow for your skin. And then you can go in and do whatever you want with eyes. You can use this exact same foundation routine for day to nighttime too, which is really cool. And yeah, it's just something fun, glowy. I got to try, I got to try out a new foundation, you know, that I've been kind of raving about for a little bit. And yeah, I will say that foundation is absolutely gorgeous. I can't say a single bad thing about that foundation. But yeah, I had a lot of fun doing this. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what else you'd like to see. Anything just like one portion of my face or tutorials or any fun things you want me to talk about. If you want to just do like some girl talk stuff, I am here. Just let me know. I love you guys so much and I'll talk to you soon, okay?